that a line from what's that line from It's a Wonderful Life?
Maybe.
Why do we have all these kids?
Here we go, guys.
So funny.
All right.
We're like opposite. I'm so reserved, and you're like the opposite end. It's a good balance.
It's actually a very good balance.
Yeah.
I grow on people like a fungus.
Well, it's time.
Is it time? Are we live streaming?
Yep.
All right. All right. So we are on, good to go.
I'm gonna check the stream to be sure, but yeah.
Yeah. My little progress bar is like sitting there, but it says preparing the live stream.
Maybe that is.
Oh, you know what? I bet it has turned 7 o'clock straight up, doesn't it?
I bet you it does.
And 4, 3, 2, 1.
The ball drops.
The ball drops. Did the ball drop? I don't know.
It just did. Yep.
Did it?
We're live now.
All right. Cool. All righty. So, did a beloved Christmas special start out as a marketing shtick? Did Mark Twain hate suspenders, like these, and invent better ones? And who's up for mining an asteroid? I know I am. These and other subjects we're going to be talking about tonight at a very Christmas special Inventor Friday. We are all decked out here, and I'm going to take this off because this is going to ring all night. I'm just when you hear ring, that means George over here isn't changing his cameras, and I'm reminding him to do so. So anyway, with us tonight, we have none other than the wild man, the hemp cattle guy himself, Kevin Poole. Kevin, tell us who you are, what you do, what you're all about.
Well, I'm all about these lights on my head. My name's Kevin Poole. I am the CEO, founder, whatever you want to call it, of Hemp Cattle Company. I'm the first person to ever feed a lagoon called Sun Hemp, which I believe to be the next alfalfa, except for it's non-GMO. I'm able to put weight on the animals via a plant-based diet. I use inventions also. Hemp Cattle Company is more than just what we feed our animals. It's how we treat the animals. It's also going to be how we're going to take them to the public. So it's a really 3-phase. And the other thing, the phase that I've added this past month was I've been trying to incorporate, what would you say, inclusion. The cattle industry is full of plenty of guys that look like me. And I want to bring an opportunity. I'm already breaking all the rules when it comes to the plant-based proteins and hemp and how we're going to take it to the public with vending machines and the inventions that I patented. Why not break the 4th rule and turn it from a boys' club into everybody's club? So I went to the University of Kentucky and I gave a couple of talks and seminars and to a couple classes full of people of color and in hopes that they would join me, and we'll see where that goes.
Very cool. Very cool. All right. Also tonight we have Ann Boyce. Ann, tell us who you are, what you're all about.
Okay. Thank you.
I know Kevin's a hard act to follow.
Yeah.
But...
He is, but I have next. So I created a tool for farmers. It's an anti-mating apron for goats, and sheep can also wear it. So we do have a patent, and it covers all 4-legged animals. So we have a lot of room for growth. So this apron, I know everyone's imaginations are going now. So it also prevents urine scald and bad odor in goats. And so anyone that's had goats knows what I'm talking about. So that's the product. The problem with goats in particular is they're very hard to keep in a fence, and they're escape artists. And so with an apron, it doesn't matter if they're with the herd. That gives them freedom and improved health. It's easier for the farmer. It's cheaper. So also something that is a big problem is depending on the breed, some goats are able to breed at 2 months of age. So that means a doeling can be 15 pounds and pregnant. So that's a medical emergency.
Yeah.
And so these aprons prevent that. So another issue is dam raised. I'm not cussing here. A dam is a doe raised boys bucklings. If a farmer wants to keep the buckling on the dam for 4 months, how are you going to do that if they can breed? So solves that problem. So we've sold about 1,500 of them. They're getting a lot of attention. We have a lot of repeat customers. We have a lot of international sales. It's just really a great product.
Cool.
Dawn, when you mentioned about the asteroids,
Yes.
it reminds me of a customer that we had, and I can't remember what country they're from, but they have patents on machinery to develop civilizations in Mars.
Huh?
So,
Cool.
yeah, we might be seeing these aprons
On-
around the asteroid.
There we go.
There we go. That's right. Yeah.
Mm.
Raising goats on Mars.
There you
That's
go.
what
They have to have food.
food.
So there you go. So I don't
cool
think
is that?
I don't think they have weeds on Mars. Yeah, so that's really cool. And that's really cool thing is a professor. Well, I don't know if this was a professor, but a doctor, an author, writing a biology book for undergrad and grad students, asked if they could feature the apron in this textbook.
Wow.
So that's supposed to come out before the end of the year. So that's really exciting.
Cool is that?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. So I brought one. I brought an extra small to show everybody. So yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah. So
right.
everyone's like, how does this work? So this is a collar and it goes around their neck, and then this strap goes down the sternal area and in between the two front legs. And so this is also part of the harness. The harness goes down into the apron. So it's very secure on the animal that way. And this is just a back strap that helps hold these side flaps in place. Because believe it or not, without the side flaps, it doesn't work. Let's have side flaps. So
All right, very cool, very cool. Well, I do want to circle back to you towards the end. We'll talk about this in a little more in depth.
Yeah.
Also with us tonight, we have the venerable Leo York. Leo,
Hang on.
there we go.
Personality
Wait on camera.
plus.
Yeah. Leo, tell everybody, Leo.
I'm a copywriter, and yeah, that's about it. Happy
All right.
holidays.
All right. Cool. And running the cameras,
Thank you.
who I'm gonna make a sore place in his arm tonight.
Give me a shot when I forget.
Yeah. Hey, it's time to change the camera. We have George Mulder. All right. Very, very cool. Very, very cool. All right. Well, tonight I do want to mention that our sponsor tonight, and let's see if I can make this work. I've got to share my screen. And there it is. Oh, wait a minute. Hang on, guys.
Don't worry.
I gotta-
face.
And not that one, but this one. All right. Well, you do want to check out our website, kyinventors.org, if you have not already. We got some new stuff going on our website if you've not checked it out. And one of them is the coolest new swag in the Inventorverse. So there is all kinds of cool swag you can get for Christmas, or just for yourself. We got coffee mugs, we got t-shirts, we got tote bags. We got all kinds of really, really cool things. Very, very inventor, entrepreneur centric. And so you definitely want to check that out. You just go to the website and you click on this little guy right here. Also, Empowering Inventing Academy courses are now available. You just go to the site, you can click on the link, it'll take you to the right place, and you can pick the course that you'd like to pick. And if you have missed a meeting, maybe you missed Anyone Can Make a Game and you want to watch it, it's not up yet, but it will be soon. And we have the other meetings that you can watch on replay. So you can actually go here and you can actually watch. Well, no, that's not it. That's the membership. That's how you become a member, by the way. So I can't navigate my own website. But you can see the courses, you can see the cool stuff. I probably should click on that and then just show you some of the cool. Well, there's the swag, and there is the some of the courses as well. So we've got everything on here. So all
Except
kinds
for
of
a pair of glasses with light bulbs.
well,
Yeah.
we don't. Okay, we're gonna have to put those on there for Christmas.
Yeah.
I really do believe we are. And I also want to talk about our sponsor. The building we are in tonight is one of our sponsors, and also one of our own inventors, Bennett Gatto, who launched Total Health Works, formerly Active Therapy Systems. And he has an online brain and body tool using an evidence-based exercise and wellness program for Parkinson's and brain health. These just aren't regular exercise classes. No, these are evidence-based programs that were developed especially for people with Parkinson's, and they found out that, hey, this helps a lot of other people as well. So if you're one of those people that just, you wandered into a room and you wonder why you went in there, yeah, like I've never done that. You can take these classes, and it mixes cognitive and physical exercises, and it actually really helps empower your brain. So if they've done all this really cool stuff for people with Parkinson's, imagine what they can do for you. They've got all kinds of 5-star reviews on Google now. It is just the coolest thing as all get out. And that's at totalhealthworks.com. I'm just so proud of Bennett, one of our own, one that came to us with a post-it note, set of post-it notes in a laser pointer. He first started with this, and now he's built all this with it. So anyway, we're really tickled to have him and be in this building, his building, and have him as a sponsor. So with that, we have upcoming meetings in January. Oh, should also mention we've got an upcoming meeting, and watch your email inbox for this. We are going to be doing a partnership with AARP, and it's called Work for Yourself 50 Plus, and it's going to be a seminar we're going to be doing next week, I think on Thursday. Anyway, check your local listings, but it will be available, and we'll be Leo and I will actually be conducting that, and it's the first one we've ever done. It ought to be a lot of fun. So just watch your email inbox for that. Also, the workshop's coming up next week, so be on the lookout for that. But now let's move on and talk about some inventions in history. So this first one here is this is kind of interesting. So Mark Twain, Samuel Clemens, also known as Mark Twain, actually patented adjustable and detachable garment straps, aka suspenders,
aka Fat Man's Belt.
Yes, which is what I'm wearing right now. So how Mark Twain's hatred for suspenders drove him to an event. And this is kind of a real interesting story here. So he actually has an improvement in adjustable and detachable straps for garments, which was a button-on adjustable strap that could be used to tighten garments. It could pinch the shirt at the waist, for example. This was 1871 he did this. Says the advantages of an adjustable and detachable elastic strap were so obvious they need no explanation, the patent reads. I don't think that would fly today.
No, not at all.
71.
No.
It's also simple to make non-elastic detachable straps, but I prefer to make them elastic. So this is actually it, and I think I've got the patent too. So yeah, right here.
Wait, didn't I see somebody had put this on where you can hook to your belt loop and make elastic go around one of your belt loops and come back to itself on a
I've
There's
not seen that.
somebody's-
Really.
somebody's old Samuel Clemens got skipped out here.
Somebody improved on Mark Twain.
Sort of.
And if this looks like anything familiar to you, this is the real interesting part. because they didn't really catch on. And I've seen the ones with the clips before, and I don't like those. I like the old fashioned button ones myself. They don't pop off unless the button breaks. But the interesting piece to this, let me see if I can find it here, is that Clement Senda found pants suspenders uncomfortable. He also believes strongly in the value of the patent system. Oh yeah, this is a great quote from his. He says, a country without a patent office and good patent laws is just a crab, and it couldn't travel any way but sideways and backwards. So I thought that was actually pretty good.
That's fun.
Anyways, if this looks familiar to you, and I was trying to find it
No
here, I
worries.
thought this was somewhere, but actually this didn't catch on in the patent world, but it did catch on in another garment, another something
Yeah,
else. Can anybody guess what that is?
Brazier is what it
Yeah.
looked like.
Yep,
If you've ever
you guessed
fumbled
it.
with a bra clasp, thank the
That's
guy with
right.
Huckleberry Finn.
You can thank Huckleberry Finn. I love it. I love it. So, do you think an invention that maybe was intended for one market could be used in another? I've always wondered.
I'd say not only can it, I'd say it's inevitable from a lot of technologies.
Oh yeah, you don't know,
When you apply it to some other field, yeah.
I mean,
No, I talked to a gentleman the other day and he is in the aerospace industry. He's 72. He's got dozens and dozens of patents that he gets paid a lot of money for. But one of his early ones was how to fuel a plane in the air. We've all seen that happen. Well, he was the guy that did it, but someone very close to him and wise said, you don't want this industry specific. And now that same technology, and he gets paid a lot of money for it, changes fluids in space stations.
Wow.
And
it's
long
been done.
time ago, he wasn't thinking about outer space. He was thinking about airplanes. And now and he goes, boy, and I talked to him for a long time. Fascinating man. But that's what person told him. And because I have an inventor, one of our radio shows coming up right after January, it's talking exactly about that issue. So
Excellent.
I mean, it not only happens on application of inventions, but it happens on theoretical inventions. I mean, John Nash is, he revised the father of economics,
Oh,
his,
sure.
and his won him a Nobel Peace Prize.
Yeah.
So he got recognized for
Game
not what he
theory.
was intending to do. I mean, I think his manifold embedding and was important in like negotiations in today's modern business world. So, I mean, there's a Nobel Prize for somebody that won it. So yeah, it exists.
Yeah, inventions with unintended consequences.
Yeah. I guess that happens more often when, hopefully it's for the good.
Well,
Yeah.
and I've often wondered sometimes, could you go through like old patents and maybe expired patents, things that never took off,
Yeah. And reboot them.
and reboot them for something completely different that maybe they never intended.
happens all the time.
Absolutely.
Yep. I've got one now. She and her partner have invented a biodegradable fishing weight.
Oh, very cool.
And it's very cool. It's made out of what flows in the river and it biodegrades right back into the river. But where I caught them was the fact that it was only the wording in the patent was very limited. And I said, you go back to your attorney and you tell him to take these words out. Because that kind of technology could be used in the forest, in farming, in constructions, all over the place. And he limited you by how he wrote it. And she goes, oh my God, I never even thought about that.
Very cool.
One of the things that when I invented Farm Huggy was the fact that I was always curious. I always sought for keeping vaccines and medicine that I use on a daily basis. But I always wondered if it could be used in military applications or insulin or even, or I'm using it to keep my drugs cool. That doesn't necessarily mean that somebody else could use it for their drugs. You know what I mean? And so I didn't know, Narcan, it has to be kept cold,
We're cutting that line and putting it on TikTok.
Yeah.
Let's clarify.
Pharmaceuticals.
Drugs for
Legal
your
ones.
cattle.
Drugs, yes, vaccines, medicine. Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry before you deleted the whole thing. It's
No.
all
Oh, yeah.
far away.
We're good.
We'll fix it.
I'll go
post.
back to being
That's-
quiet.
Yeah. All right, let's move on to the next thing. Let's see. How about December 22nd, 1882? Edward Johnson, an associate of Thomas Edison, created the first string of electric lights decorating a Christmas tree. Yeah, and guess what they used prior to electric lights?
Candles.
Candles.
Can you imagine?
Oh my
The fire
gosh.
hazard.
Well, that's the funny thing.
Oh, wow.
Let me let's see, I'll show this. Pull it
I
up.
mean, did they have somebody watching the tree?
I mean, they didn't have TV, so it's not like
Like,
they would just.
that's a good point.
Yeah.
That's a good point. That's a good point. People were just staring at the radio. So instead of staring at the radio, they were actually staring at the tree.
Right.
So,
Wait, did they even have radio back then?
No.
No. Okay, sorry.
it was dark outside.
Sorry, it was dark
They-
outside. So I
Stared
guess that's
at
what
the
you did.
tree.
You stared at the tree
Mhm.
and you made sure it didn't burn down.
There you go.
And you always had a cup of water there in case.
When it started catching on fire,
I mean, as a
Johnny, go watch the tree because it's going to
You
catch
don't want it to
fire.
burn
Be
down.
sure and keep the bucket nearby. I
can't-
wonder if they had kept a bucket of water nearby.
Oh, sure, probably.
You know, they had to.
had
Yeah.
to.
So
I can't imagine that.
so yeah, so this is the guy, Edward Hibbard Johnson, and he was associate of Edison, and
Rippy.
the interesting piece to this, let's see, do I have the picture on this one? That might be on the next one.
He's like, we could change the world by making a better light bulb, or I could put it on a string, or put it on people's glasses, and
And now they're on your glasses.
I mean, let's be honest. I know this look to Edward H. Johnson. Thank you, Eddie. You're a good man.
Oh, I bet he never intended.
He would be so proud.
Oh,
I love you. Telling you.
well, when they started marketing this, because you got to kind of think about this. Everybody was used to candles,
Right.
and it was like, oh no, that's my tradition. I don't want to change my tradition.
Yeah.
My grandfather had candles on his tree.
Yeah.
That was the
Yeah.
problem with the mindset.
Well,
Yeah.
people
So-
are also scared of fire hazards for electricity. People
There
didn't
it is.
Understand it.
Yeah.
So-
There's a
So
whole.
this was their ad for the Christmas lights. No danger from the lights on Christmas trees when Edison miniature lamps are used. So, it's kind of like using fear to sell
That's
something,
right.
but
I mean,
At the same
frankly, I
time-
get it. Yeah, I'd rather have the little incandescent lights than fire all over a tree.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, fear, hope, always good marketing tools. We
Yep.
definitely get a dose
Carrot
of
and
these
stick,
days.
yeah.
I'd like to think I've been first in line to buy these. I'd like to think that, but
Don,
I didn't.
we all know that when they came out with the bell tower in the center of town, that you were the guy standing out in front of the bell tower and saying, this is the greatest thing ever, while people were scared to death of bells back then. So we all know, Don, you're pushing us, going where no man's ever
Yeah.
gone before.
Yeah.
I mean, we got people from South Africa and Ireland on this thing. So, apparently your grasp is unfathomable.
I'll take that, and I'll pay you later.
That's right.
So, all right. So yeah, I mean, and you think about it, I mean, nobody thought to take this and use it like this before. So how hard do you think is to come up with an idea? Or how hard do you think it is to change people's ideas about something? that
Very
they-
hard. I think
E-
resistant to change.
even if it's
I
that
think
much.
if you're up against tragedy, like what you're saying, fire, I don't think it's that difficult.
Yeah.
I think you get the few that think outside the box
Mhm.
to participate. That's
The
what
early
I'm saying.
adopters.
Yep, exactly.
And then the others see it and they join right in. But when you're dealing with the risk of a fire, I just feel like
I'll bet
the
you.
more risky it problem is, the
Yeah,
Yeah.
but
the
that's not
quicker people will
necessarily-
adopt it.
I wonder if that was the very first people that bought in.
Mm.
We had a fire last year, and guess what? We're getting these
Probably.
newfangled
Right.
bulbs.
They were
Yeah.
traumatized.
It
Yeah,
depends
yeah.
on the person though.
Yeah.
Like I remember when the news covered seatbelt laws in some areas
Mhm.
and the backlash is astonishing.
Oh, I remember.
Really?
Oh, yeah. I saw a video of it.
Yeah.
How
How
make
dare
me wear a seatbelt if I
Yeah.
want to drink a beer after work.
he's not
And
even
if he-
exaggerating.
Yeah, there was a guy on there. It was fantastic. Like, I want to drink a beer after work. I don't think the government should tell me I should wear a seatbelt
Yeah.
or I can't drink a beer after work. I don't want the government. But there's Gaffigan, the comedian, actually talks about this. About you think people were like, I don't trust that bell tower in the middle of town. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I just the government.
Luddites everywhere,
Yeah.
every stage of the.
But back to her
process.
point, she's right. I mean, the journey that we go on with our inventions to find out is what are they worth something? You know, everybody thinks that they have the greatest thing since sliced bread. You expose it, you market it, you push it, you find out immediately whether or not people want to
Yeah.
do it. But even then, to expedite it further, it takes money, and what it does is it has to be it has to reach a critical mass, and it doesn't happen overnight.
Right.
And you have to keep banging away at it. That's at least my experience
Yeah.
has been.
Absolutely.
And you got to be. I mean, what was
Have to saturate.
persistence might be the number one
There
character
you go. I
that
think so.
characteristic that you
Yeah.
need in order to be successful as an
I think
inventor.
so.
Persistence. I mean,
Yeah.
because yeah, you could use fear. I blew up the computer.
What happened?
He stopped recording.
What'd you do, Kevin?
It-
We swear Kevin didn't swear there.
Yeah, that's right. Whoops. But no, you gotta see it through,
Yeah.
no matter what.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
how do you make it become a critical mass? Do you got to go on Shark Tank? Do you
I don't trust Shark Tank.
no? Well, hold on. First of all,
There's all these famous people watching it, ready to take people's ideas.
well, first of all, you go into Shark Tank, you're already successful. Okay, that's what people
Don't get me started on Shark Tank.
Look, if you're already on Shark Tank, they're just looking to expand to a next level. There's very few people that Joe Q citizen walks in there and says, "Hi, I got an invention. It's called Farm Huggy. I'd like to talk to you about it today. How many you sold? None. You know what I'm saying? Or you know what I'm saying? All right, what's your none? I have a patent on it. You know what I'm saying? I really believe in it. Do you want it? Hey, you know what I'm saying? They don't make it on Shark Tank. So they're
No.
more further down the line. They're just looking for a large amount of money. They're looking for a return on investment, immediate return on investment.
My short answer on Shark Tank is Shark Tank and Gilligan's Island are both TV shows.
That's right.
But now that being said, I've met people that have been successful on Shark Tank. I think if you can get on, and getting on is like winning the lottery.
Yeah.
But if you're one of those extremely few people that can get on, then you can. It's the best free commercial
Yeah.
for your
Yeah.
product you
Oh,
could
there
ever
you
use.
go.
Sorry, Don. I didn't mean to bring up a taboo
No,
word.
no. Lee, you had something to add?
I
Whoops.
said, don't get me
Whoops.
started
I
on
know.
Shark Tank.
Taboo.
I love the one episode where this guy showed that he's in Cincinnati and he came up with some kind of wine bottle pour thing, and I know nothing about that stuff. But it somehow made the wine breed or something. Aerated it, something like that. And he went and he showed it, and they were all showing interest. Oh, I want a piece of this. Oh, I want a piece of this. And he was like, "Nah, I'm good." And he left. So he was just basically there to
Free advertising.
free advertising, and
And
he
a trio.
sold tons of them.
Yeah. Rita, you had something to add?
Well, I just wanted to say, I think it really depends on what the invention is. We had a young lady that did a new healthcare product, and she brought that, they're launching that in March, and it was the company that made the stoma that was causing the problem, that knew there was a problem. It's like, we'll take it. We want to license this. So very cool. But now, you know, you've got Apple a long time ago paid a lot of money to teach us that an apple was something that we played with and not something that we ate. And most inventors don't have the millions of dollars that Apple did to throw at it. So, you know, they look at, you know, what's the problem? You know, how do I get it out there? But the guy that invented the flashlight that wraps around the pole, I mean, we all know that a flashlight is a light coming out of the end of the stick. Now
Yep.
you can actually, you know, wrap it around the pole and you don't have to hold the flashlight in your mouth to use both your hands. So
Or
I
you
think,
can just hold one of these up and then.
yeah, there you go. There you go. So I think it's, you know, the problem they solve, what is the need, and what people see as a better widget as opposed to something that they had no clue about. So it depends.
One of the best books I've ever read on this is called Crossing the Chasm. And they've got a great illustration in there about how you get these early adopters and they get on and they're growing great and these people love your product. They are basically early adopters. They love to buy the new, get it, whatever's new. And then there's this big chasm between that and the mainstream of your customer base. And then at the other end of the curve is like laggards. But they all talk about crossing that chasm and how to do that. And it's a great strategy on that. So I highly recommend that book for kind of how you see your audience and how you see capturing your audience. So,
Well, one thing that Ann and I share, since we're in the ag tech field, I mean, my inventions, her invention, or inventions, what she's doing, it's mind-boggling to me to try to grasp that it's not instantaneous, that it just doesn't happen overnight. Because let's be honest, what do you need every day? Let's be honest, we wake up, breakfast, lunch, snack bar, dinner, after dinner snack. I mean, it's like our whole day is based around food.
Sure.
And you can live around, you can live around, have you ever thought about that? Our whole days are just based around food. Have you ever thought about it? Like, you ever gone to like King's Island? Like, well, we just ate. Well, where are we eting for dinner?
Yeah.
What are we gonna do between the 2 hours before we eat dinner?
I love that book.
Make friends.
Yeah.
Yeah. But back to my original thought here. My original thought is that, like, food, it's necessary. Water, food. That's it. I mean, so she's invented something that helps goats not, be more what we see efficient animals.
You get better goats.
I'm using hemp as a plant-based source of protein so that I can make animals taste better, but also maybe, I mean, what if corn, GMO corn, in 10 years they discover it causes cancer?
I
mean, they've already figured it out in Europe apparently, but not here in the States. So if that's the case, I mean, I sometimes talk to people about hemp-fed beef and how I think it's, but I really just want to grab them by the shoulders and shake them and be like, I could save your life.
Yeah.
But even then, why am I still?
Well, it's perfect timing that you brought that up, because what that all amounts to is saturating people's minds. And in order to saturate people's minds with understanding what the product does for them, you need a copywriter. And I'm not saying that for my own benefit, because that's actually what we're going to talk about next is a copywriter.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
Segue.
Yeah.
Great segue.
All right.
Yeah.
You're
And
welcome, Leo.
I'm glad Leo said that because I'd forgotten who we were going to next. So
really?
it's all good. So December 1939, copywriter Robert May creates Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. Now everybody remembers Rudolph. If you've ever seen a Christmas special or anything like that. But did you know where it started? Well, he actually, let me find it here. I thought it was this other one. I think it was Snopes. Nope, that's Christmas lights. Sorry, guys. And that's not it either. Okay, yes. So Bob Clicaro married to his wife, got his job as a copywriter at Montgomery Ward during the Great Depression, and had a little girl. And that's more of his backstory. Bob struggled. Okay, I am still not in the right spot. I gotta start bookmarking these.
No worries.
The general manager of Montgomery Ward caught wind of a little story book that offered Bob May a nominal fee to purchase rights to print the book. Well, it's still not it.
No worries. I kind of remember enough of it where they were basically, this company was giving out books, and that was just their marketing plan, was they would give out these little Christmas books, and then they realized, instead of paying the publishers for these stories, what if we just wrote one? So the other copywriter write Rudolph, and he wrote it for them. They own the rights, and it took off, and it was so popular, and again, it saturated the market and became part of the zeitgeist, that they actually, when he wanted to capitalize on it, they just gave it to him. They just gave him the trademark and the copyright for the song. So from there, he went out and got it licensed to make like the animated stuff, the claymation Burl Live stuff.
Oh yeah.
And he made a lot of money off of it. And one of the weirdest things to me, because I was playing it in my mind, it's an anapestic tetrameter, which is really weird. Like, you almost never hear poems or songs in that particular meter. Like, the only exception I can even think of right now is literally there's an Eminem song, and then there's like everything Dr. Seuss ever flipping wrote, which that was after Rudolph. So I wonder if Rudolph influenced all the Seuss. Yeah.
Huh.
Weird stuff.
What'd you say it was? What was that big word?
Oh, anapestic tetrameter. It's
I'm sorry.
We all know what
I'm
that
sorry. That is the show, folks. That's it. Leo just
how do
blew
you-
up the internet.
How do you not know that, Kevin?
What just happened here? I have no idea.
Non-emphasized syllable, non-emphasized syllable, emphasized syllable. Blah, blah, blah,
Okay.
blah, blah, blah.
All right.
Rudolph the red-nosed
Yeah,
reindeer. So
there you
it's the meter of
even
that.
better, Dasher and Dancer and Prancer. Da 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 da
Okay.
da da
right.
da da. So yeah.
Remember that one.
Yeah.
Say it one more time.
Anapestic tetrameter. Which tetrameter
Anapestic-
is 4. So
Okay, every time. Well, for those of you at home, if you want to do a drinking game,
Yes.
every time Leo
hijack
mentions-
this show and turn it into a poetry workshop.
You'll never ever drink.
Yeah.
So,
Oh gosh. So how many marketing icons do you think have become like,
Oh, from Christmas?
yeah,
Oh,
or just-
I've been waiting for this.
yeah.
I've been eyeballing this the entire time that I saw it on the bottom of the sheet. Are you kidding me? Like Teddy Ruxpin, my whole life, Transformers, all
fun
Chris,
fact,
all
friend,
this
friend
stuff.
of our group, Stephen Key, worked on Teddy Ruxpin.
all
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
toys. I mean, it seems like at least in my childhood, and probably still remains today, is I mean, toys easy, fast. If you could get them and probably what would you say, pushed. See, I didn't even say a cuss word again. Didn't do it, I promise.
We swear it wasn't Kevin. We swear.
Yeah,
It's
swear.
a
YouTube's
technical
got a
glitch.
grudge
I
against
promise.
you. Yeah.
The lights are really throwing it off, I guess. But no, I mean, think about how much inventions were pushed hard to get it done before Christmas.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
because I mean, they could get it done, and you can kill it. You know, it becomes the next crave, and next thing people start hitting each other in the head, and at Walmart for the
Yeah.
For the
Teddy
next
Ruxpin or the Cabbage Patch dolls.
Yeah.
Cabbage Patch. Oh yeah,
Cabbage
that's right. I
Patch.
remember those.
Teddy Ruxpin.
Yeah, that was a craze.
Yeah.
Dude.
Yeah. Beanie
Yeah.
Babies was another one.
All you wanted was just
Yeah.
Beanie Babies. I mean,
With Beanie
as
Babies,
a
adults were
kid-
going after them too.
Yeah.
Oh, they
Not-
were. People were
not
like
just for
collecting
kids.
them.
It's becoming an investment, which
That was
But-
crazy.
as a kid, man, my favorite thing to do was to get that service merchandise catalog, and I'd flip. You know, there was a good, probably a section about this long. You know,
I did a video last
and
week
you
on
all
it.
you
Is that
wanted
what
to
you're
do
thinking?
was just sit there, and,
Yeah.
and just, oh,
Yeah.
I want
Yeah.
that,
Yeah.
you know, and
Yeah.
just
Oh.
ripping it out and hand it to mom, and
Oh yeah,
And be
Mom, I
like,
want
"Mom,
this. I want
this.
I want this.
Can I
I want
do
this. I want
that?"
this.
mom and dad probably go to the store and be like, "That's $70. How about this little one over here to the side that costs 20?" Get 'em. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. If you can get the children and the adults
Oh.
hooked on an item.
Oh.
I remember
yeah.
working in the hospital. I'm a nurse. and working a night shift. And one of the nurses, she was collecting those Beanie Babies, and we were 7P to 7A, and she had to go to see if she could get first dibs on Beanie Babies after.
Wow.
I mean,
Mm.
Are those days dead?
Beanie Babies.
No, I'm talking about just the days of that craze.
Oh, there's
Well,
still
people-
trends,
no.
but it's
Are
just
there?
different.
It is
Yeah.
different. I think
Uh,
most people order online, and
I mean,
they
I know
get
people who've literally
Still
like
things.
gone in debt on Funko Pops, which amazes me. So it's a thing.
On what?
Funko Pops. Yeah.
Wow. You're right, it's not dead because you can get on and
Yeah.
collect. I mean,
Last year it was Squashmallows or whatever.
Oh,
Squishmallows.
yeah.
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 yeah, I think my kids got one of those.
Yeah.
I wonder what the next big
Mm.
trendy
I don't know.
little icon thing is going to be.
I don't know, but they do have a tendency. There's the ones that have staying power, but then there's the ones that you can like Lego. I mean, good
Mhm.
lord.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
So if you looked at the ones with staying power and you looked at their qualities, I bet you could gather,
Oh yeah.
some qualities
Yeah.
there to be able to put into an invention.
Probably something that more is,
Characteristic.
you wouldn't want to say
So there's some things that
It checks
it's just
multiple
like
boxes.
timeless.
Broad appeal,
Yeah.
not particularly offensive,
That's right.
capitalizes on things that are current while simultaneously maintaining some level of timelessness.
yeah.
With the pillow, that squishy pillow, I'm like, I look at those and I asked the mother, I'm like, why do they like them? Because they're so soft.
Yeah.
But I'm
That's what they
like,
said about Beanie Babies, right?
so it makes the children feel loved. I don't know, they all these feels, something that gives them the feels.
Mm.
Yeah, yeah. So it's kind of is this gonna have staying power like Legos where
Now that's
everybody's going to be using them from now on because they've got some depth to them that things like Beanie Babies didn't have.
now the Legos are just
I saw the other day they're making Lego houses.
I was going to say what the log
Have you seen
house.
that?
Right,
Have you
yeah,
seen
yeah,
those?
I think
Yeah.
the
Brilliant.
Legos are just
Yeah.
Insulated. I feel like I could go out there, pour some concrete, and just start putting it together.
Yeah,
I can have a house in 15 minutes if I
If I
wanted
could
to.
have
Insulated.
a suburb where every 3 houses is like pineapple, moai head, rock, like SpongeBob. Oh
Okay.
my God. that'd be the-
Oh my goodness, that'd be great.
Listen, we need to come. Let me say
Okay,
something.
so-
Leo is on a different planet. I mean,
Kevin, you
he's-
didn't know
he's
this?
living in SpongeBob. He's living in he's what was that word? Pana what?
Oh, shoot, now I forgot.
Yeah, I forgot 5 minutes ago. Yeah, we need to turn this into a drinking game. This is.
Oh,
I don't
God.
I tell you what, Leo
Love everybody.
Leo
Wow.
is the king.
We'll be the
King
designated
of
driver.
killing it with the knowledge. I mean, this is like super nerd extraordinaire over here.
Well, yeah.
Oh, goodness.
It is pretty good though. Being a nerd is a good thing, by the way.
Thanks.
About 20 years ago, it wasn't.
It was not.
Like
I
that would
remember.
get
30
all-
years ago, sorry.
all kinds of
I forget
traffic.
how old I am.
I think you're onto something. So with the staying power Lego blocks, but the kind of fun factor of SpongeBob.
Yeah, there we go.
SpongeBob Legos.
Ooh, I'm sure those gotta exist.
Somebody's had to have thought of
Yeah.
that.
Maybe not.
Maybe
Now
not.
listen, maybe not.
Yeah, but I've just made it public for the world.
Look, we're losing people by the minute. South Africa is staying strong. I love her.
Just have them
I love
sign-
Celeste from South Africa. You just keep that on and just remember
have them sign an
this
NDA
ridiculousness
real
will
quick.
end.
Oh, well, with that, let's move on to inventions in the news. All right, we got some kind of really cool ones here. Let me get to this page, and this is over at Best Buy. I thought this was kind of interesting. Best Buy confirms plans to stop selling DVDs and Blu-rays in 2024.
Wow.
So, yeah, so
Like 3/4 of their inventory.
yeah, so are their stores going to get smaller? Variety confirmed on the news on October 13th. The company made the decision to quit selling DVDs up to 9 months ago, according to the publisher's source. Was another piece in here which I kind of thought was interesting. Oh yeah. So the Best Buy was pulling all of its CDs stores due to decline in sales. Reported in 2022, they were cutting hundreds of jobs across the country. Because company continued to see this downward sales trend. So I'm wondering if maybe they will move to smaller store. What are they going to do with the extra space
Yeah,
if
exactly.
if there was all this space for DVDs?
Yeah.
And this was the other thing. The news of Best Buy's decision to stop selling physical media comes weeks after Netflix mailed out its final DVD to customers, giving them the option to keep the discs if they chose to do so.
Wow. The axe.
Yeah, it's
That
like
was the axe.
we don't even really
The
care. if
straw
you-
that broke the
Wow.
Best Buy's back.
Yeah.
Yeah, the final envelopes were sent out on September 29th, and the final movie that was sent out in the mail was 2010's True Grit. So yeah. So, but you know what struck me about this was the fact that they said, don't even send it back. We don't care. It matters that little to us at this point. So that's wild.
Oh, Don, you got a couple of Hollywood video rentals still. Blockbuster.
Late
Couple of those. No, Don.
Are there any blockbusters still around?
One.
One.
And
Yeah.
was it Alaska or something?
Something like that. Yeah.
Wow. When's the last time you watched a physical DVD? I can't even remember.
My kids, we watch.
Do they? They still
Disney stuff.
So DVDs are still a thing?
Been over a year for me.
Still a thing, I think.
Hey, I took a bag of 50 old DVDs down to a neighbor who had lost his fiber optics and had just had surgery and was bored out of his mind. He was so grateful to get that old DVD player and that bag of movies that went everywhere from old John Wayne's to Christmas to, the new James Bond one. So it had
The
but he
Wi-Fi
was
goes
like, oh my
out.
God, thank you. So you never know.
So we're one Carrington event away. Leo knew I was going to say this because I always say that. We're one Carrington event away from all using DVDs and bone knives and bear skins.
When we moved out to this beautiful territory, I took all of my DVDs down and gave them to Goodwill. And when I realized I could not get any TV, I had to go buy them all back. And now I loaned them to a neighbor because I said I will not give them away again because you just never know.
Never know. Yeah. Well, and this is the thing. If you've got everything streaming online, what happens when that stops? And if everybody doesn't know what a Carrington event is, that's so
They're
back
using
in
big words again.
What was it, 1880s?
Something like that.
About the
50s, I think. 18.
Was it 1850s?
It was during a period where we didn't rely on a lot of tech.
Our tech consisted of telegraph
Yeah.
wires. And so there was this huge sunspot, this huge coronal thing from the sun, and
Coronal mass ejection.
Yep, that's what they're called. And it blew out. It actually set fire. It was so intense it set fire to the telegraph wires. And so it was like, and they say we're overdue for another one.
Yep.
And now what would happen? Would we just have suddenly not have any of these little cool tools?
1859, you say?
We normally would.
1859.
1859. I didn't know it was that long ago.
We would be
Older than
sitting
the Civil
around
War.
looking
That's
at the
weird to think
Christmas
about.
tree again.
So we just had one.
We'll be using candles on Christmas trees again.
We just had a close one just last
Yeah.
week,
Yeah.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
did.
Very
We did have a real
disconcerting.
close one last week.
Yeah.
but not 2025. Is the peak. When it's,
Really?
Oh, is that's the next peak of?
Yeah, we're going up to that.
I gotta plant some corn in the meantime.
Really?
Yeah.
Plant some corn.
How do they?
GMO.
How do they? What did I? Sorry. How do they have it predicted? They know that 2025.
Based on solar
Yeah.
activity.
So-
Yeah, they run in
Cycles.
like cycles. So it's like, I remember what
Like a
was.
comet?
I was telling
You know
Lou
what's gonna
about
happen?
Sort of.
No,
Vaguely.
It's like
well,
sun spots every 11 years.
yeah, about every 11
Kinda like-
years, the
it's kinda
sun
El
like gets
Nino,
real
but the
active.
sun.
That does not sound fun.
The thing is, your DVDs are no good if you,
Yeah. Nothing's any.
So what will it do?
you're
in
not gonna have any
2025?
electricity
When
though
you
either.
chase deer.
Yeah.
with
You're right. If you
Nah.
have a big museum,
Yeah, no
Come on
electricity.
now.
electricity.
What happens in
Everything's burning
2025?
Caveman. Dave.
Means they're gonna get hot enough it burns what?
Electric lines,
All
Yeah,
of
electric lines,
satellites,
transformers, that go out.
transformers.
Dogs and cats
Everything.
living together.
That's right,
That's
yeah.
hysteria.
Thank you. Thank you.
So yeah, no, it's
Mass hysteria.
yeah.
I would give the other line before that, but I'm not going to.
Okay.
right.
Yeah.
This man has no.
Yeah. Everybody knows that. So
Thank you, Bill.
but yeah, I mean, you never know. It's we could be going back to DVDs,
Sure.
but I can't remember the last time. I honestly can't remember the last time I watched a DVD.
We watch them at my house.
Yeah, we do.
I never.
You got
started
kids,
anything
it still
there.
happens.
Yeah.
So do you think this is a case of Best Buy not pivoting and just saying we're going to keep selling DVDs till the end of time, or you think they were
Sounds like they're pivoting.
pivoting?
Yeah.
Too late? Too
So,
late?
What is my
or-
question? I don't know.
They do all right.
What, selling
Let's see.
TVs?
Yeah.
Electronics? Yeah.
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 I'd say probably
Sell more
that's what they're-
refrigerators
more refrigerators, more electronics, more whatever. They keep things.
until the Carrington event.
That's right.
They'll be selling rabbit pelts.
That's
Oh,
That's funny.
goat
Goat aprons?
Yeah, goat
Yeah,
aprons
yeah.
will really go up. Yeah, everybody will have a goat farm.
Yeah. Couple years.
I'll put goats in my backyard
There you
if the power goes out.
Yeah. Or if you're going to Mars.
Yeah, or if I'm going to Mars, either one.
Yeah.
Either one. So, all right, this next one is kind of interesting, and let's see.
Oh, don't get me started on this.
I thought you might be interested in this one, Kevin. So, the Pepper X Carolina Reaper inventor releases new world's hottest pepper that's 3 times hotter, leaves him groaning in pain for hours. The pepper breeder that first grew the Carolina Reaper, known as the world's hottest pepper, has smashed his own heat ceiling with a new record holder dubbed Pepper X. Ed Curry's the guy's name. It was given the Guinness Book of World Records title for the hottest pepper in the world in 2023, defeating his own previous record with the California Reaper. It measures, for those of you that care, it measures 1.64 million Scoville units, which is, I guess, how hot you measure hot peppers.
Way past setting the creek on fire.
And so this logarithmic scales used for measurement means Pepper X is actually 3 times hotter than the previous record holder. And there's an interesting video. Let me see if I can pull it up really quick.
Watch a video.
We're gonna watch a video.
It's like a video daily double here.
Yes, it is.
People straight up died from Carolina Reaper ingestion, so
Oh, wow.
it's
Yeah.
rough.
I've done a Carolina Reaper.
I've had Carolina Reaper. It's rough, but it's not as bad as I expected. But this, I don't think I'd even try.
Let's see. Is this the video? No, I may not have the video, guys. Yeah, but well, there was this video.
Pepper. Oof.
While he's trying to find it, I got a
It's
question for South
gobbler.
Africa. South Africa, Celeste, is the capital of South Africa Johannesburg, Bloemfontein, or Pretoria? Because in high school I learned all 3. Which one is it now?
You are muted.
Oh, I'm muted.
No, not you. Celeste.
I'm never.
We've got 4 capitals.
4. It's
Johannesburg is
now.
colonies, Pretoria is government, Cape Town is parliament, and Bloemfontein is the law.
Oh,
Justice.
there's 3. I forgot Cape Town. Okay, all right, nice. All right, so all there's
Interesting.
4.
Wow.
Interesting.
Well, I feel so ignorant. I thought I was going to be
No,
smart.
I,
I, 3 out of the
I
4.
assumed they had 1. Yeah.
No,
News to me.
no.
Interesting.
It was here all along, guys. Okay.
Remember
Believe this. I know, right? It's very inspiring.
Every time I hang out, I love seeing you, but I also don't like it.
Did you do that? Did you invent that pepper? Yeah. Why?
So I love that part because he says, "Did you invent that pepper?" He said, "Yes." He says, "Why?" So yeah, so it just kind of brings up an interesting question: is why do you think people like this level of hot peppers?
Endorphins.
Yeah.
Endorphins.
That's
It's addictive.
why.
Competition.
Yeah, that too machismo.
Yeah.
Yeah, might be. Yeah, I didn't even think about that, but yeah, can I prove that I can eat this
Right.
and get by with it?
Right.
There was
I think
a-
it's I think it's because it's like Everest. It's because it's there.
Because it's there, yeah.
because it's there.
Yeah.
I went through a little phase years ago of, let me try this. And it really kind of got me to develop what I call hot pepper theory, which is I would get something and I'd be, ooh, this is really hot. And, it'd have the endorphin release and, okay, wow, cool. I want some more of this. And then after a while, I was putting hot sauce on my eggs in the morning.
Sure.
Yeah.
And
That's not abnormal.
no, not.
I used to eat
Well,
peppers when I had a good time. Now I need peppers to have a good time.
I'm gonna leave that one alone. Not gonna touch that one. Continue, Don, please.
Yes. So
Pepper
after
theory.
a while, I kind of got used to it being that hot, and I thought this doesn't feel like it's that hot anymore. And I thought I want something hotter. It was almost like a drug addict
Yeah.
thing. It was like,
Yeah.
okay, I need
Yeah.
something more to
Condition.
get
Yeah.
to for this to feel hot.
Yeah.
And I can eat something hot and think that's okay, and then or I'll think this tastes like ice cream, but it's really hot to other people.
Mhm.
Right.
And so you just kind of keep up. It's kind of like the
Yeah.
whole shock thing where you just kind of
Mhm.
you keep leveling up,
Mhm.
and then pretty soon I'm eating really hot stuff that I probably would have never touched.
I think you're right. I think you're right. I think it comes down to
Yeah.
at least
At
you
some point, I just quit. I said, "Okay, this is crazy."
I don't even recognize myself.
I think maybe it's evolution. I mean, think about it.
Capsaicin is absolutely like something that
maybe-
we've evolved to like because bugs don't eat it and it keeps us safe from
Right? Maybe it's that.
Birds can't
Maybe
taste
I wasn't talking
hot.
about like
That's
bugs
true.
and that, but what I was
Yeah.
saying is like
Yeah.
maybe it has to do with the fact that so when we're
Acid
kids,
bugs.
we could barely
Acid
drink
birds.
pepper.
Thing.
We could barely eat pepper. Peppery foods are considered hot.
Oh yeah.
Okay, then you get past that, you enjoy pepper, you enjoy salt, pepper. Next thing you know, that's not a big deal. And the
Mhm.
next thing you know, you're like, I'll try, maybe, I don't know what the next step would be. Gosh, I don't know.
Jalapenos.
Yeah, about jalapenos are probably the next step, or a red hot or a buffalo sauce, probably.
Okay, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Buffalo sauce, and then you come on, and then you move to Frank's, and that's mild. And then you get, but what happens is you're looking for new taste. Your taste buds
Mhm.
develop into things. I didn't like horseradish when I was a kid. I love horseradish now.
Yeah.
I didn't like
Yeah.
certain foods, and you just
Mhm.
start going sauerkraut or odd tasting or
Yeah.
vinegar.
I remember
Vinegar as a
the
kid.
yeah.
You're not
first time I
A
had.
lot of that though. I'll go for it.
I was gonna say the first time I ever had horseradish, I thought, why would anybody eat?
Why
this
would
stuff?
you eat this?
Yeah.
Now I'm just like going searching for it,
A lot
because
of,
it's not boring and it's not
Yeah.
bland.
well, a lot of that also though is adults have more complicated palates because we've evolved to like want more nutrients, whereas little kids, their whole goal is to grow as quick as possible. So that's why they like sweet things because it's more calorie dense.
So I don't know if that I don't know if
Yeah.
that counts as evolution, but I guess it is an evolution or revolution of your taste buds as you get
Absolutely.
older. You just want something different.
Yeah.
So Don, the Kevin Poole jury is out. It's normal. You're normal.
There you go.
Sorry. Nice try to trump Leo, but you just didn't get there.
There's
He's
no
killing it
way.
over here.
There is no way to trump
He's
Leo.
killing it over here. Next week we're doing a 1 chip challenge.
No,
Or not. That'll get people in here, would it?
Yeah.
Huh?
So I go on a boat trip every year and 3 other guys with 4 of us. And these guys like hot stuff. So the one guy, Ben, he has a product that he invented and he markets called Vesta, Vesta. You can look it up online.
the goddess of fire.
A goddess of fire.
Oh,
And he's got
full name.
It's in a powder, kind of a sprinkle, and you put it on your sandwiches. But his thing was what you're saying, that people older, people getting older in the United
They
States,
want different.
and they want a little spice on their food. So he wants this on sitting on everybody's table.
I gotta
You know,
try
he's
it.
got a low, medium, and a hot,
Yeah.
and he makes his own peppers and
I like
makes
the
this
name.
product.
Yeah.
Now,
That's a good name.
is this a man thing? What do the ladies have to say about
Oh,
this,
no.
Rita
Well,
and
do
Celeste?
you like?
I love spicy food. Yeah.
Are you?
Me too.
Okay, all right.
Oh, definitely.
This-
Yeah, I'm over here like, yeah. No.
No, I do too. It's, I enjoy it. I do have a kind of a threshold though for the hot part, but ooh, spicy is really good.
Yeah.
And I make a bacon wrapped jalapeno that people just stand in line waiting for
Oh,
it to come
wow.
out of the oven.
Wow.
Right.
I tried to ferment peppers last year
Uh,
and I didn't wear gloves.
Uh-oh.
Okay, I suffered for a long time.
Yeah.
Gloves if you try to pickle,
Yeah.
ferment.
So-
That's a hard
So
one.
is there gonna
It
be
was
a hemp
terrible.
cattle, a spicy hemp cattle?
No,
No?
it's yeah.
Can you change the taste of?
Sure, you are what you
Yeah.
eat.
I remember
Good
hearing
beef
a,
tastes differently than any other beef. But no, I wouldn't. I guess
I
guess
remember
you could do
hearing
it
a
all.
story about milk cows and they'd get into like,
Oh, with
Onions?
onions and garlic.
yeah,
and
yeah,
all
maybe
that.
I heard this from
Oh,
you.
yeah,
Sure, no,
Dale.
that's the
Maybe,
truth.
yeah,
Yeah,
they got-
sure.
They got into onions and then the milk tasted like onions.
I mean, an old thing for
Maybe it's
chickens.
the winter.
If chickens stop laying, they normally stop laying because body temperature, or they go in estrus. Animals can do that, whether they're eating fescue with an endophyte fungus or prussic acid, which can be cyanide poisoning or anything like that. But chickens that go in estrus basically means that they're not laying eggs.
Now you're using big Leo words.
Am I?
You need to take notes.
Sorry, I didn't mean to lose the common people. I don't want to be like Leo. But no, they okay, so in other words, they stop laying eggs. Okay. So one of the old tips is you put red pepper flake into their feed. And it will, so in other words, it raises their blood pressure, which it tricks you into thinking that your body is actually it's cooler. And they might start laying eggs. So putting chili pepper flake into chicken feed is a way of like people drinking bourbon in the wintertime. Thins the blood. You think you're warm. And getting all fuzzy, and next thing you know, and no, I'm not going to lay an egg.
So another use for pepper, is, everyone should know this, is for a heart attack.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah, if you would be with someone and you suspect they're having a heart attack and you don't have nitro pills or anything else, put a teaspoon of cayenne pepper in water, say drink it while you call 911. It dilates the vessels. Yeah.
Betray.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
Yeah.
like Dumb and Dumber, you're having a heart attack, and they say, it's like, get some cayenne pepper.
Yeah.
In with the bad, out with the good.
Good to know.
Yeah,
I like that.
It is.
I like that.
I live a long way from, ambulance, so.
Yeah.
Good to know.
But it's good for heart attacks, it's good for chicken feed, and it's good on your eggs.
Yeah.
That's right. It's in your eggs and on your eggs. Make sure.
The whole
And wear
thing.
gloves.
What a wonderful
Wear gloves.
callback, Don.
Yeah. How about that?
Good job.
So do you think, now he made the Guinness Book of World Records with this. Do you think that's a good marketing strategy, getting you into the?
Yeah, I mean, it's
Doesn't hurt.
the world record. Yeah.
Yeah.
You want to get people to listen for sure.
I'd say he's
He's
Very
marketing for
interesting.
Guinness too. That's how the beer got marketing themselves. So.
Oh yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're tied in together?
Oh yeah, yeah. Like basically, people would go to bars and they would drink Guinness and they would argue about things, like who the fastest person was or biggest.
I had
building.
no idea.
And
they were
Jeff's
tied.
like,
I should've
let's
known,
make a
but-
book, and then that'll settle the arguments while people drink our beer.
So Guinness is tied into the Book of Records.
Yep.
They're one.
They made
company.
it. Yeah.
They're
Yeah,
one
they made
company.
it.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Over
Yeah.
bar bets.
Yep. Over bar bets.
Settle bar bets.
Learned so much.
You've learned so much tonight, Kevin. We're so proud of you. But I'd almost bet that he was determined to get in the Guinness Book of World Records just because it was.
I think this is a guy who's super passionate about peppers, like the
Yeah,
plant
he was.
itself. He's just
pushing.
he'll probably break it again.
He's
couple of
pushing the envelope,
Yeah.
man. He's basically trying to kill people.
Which
If you're into peppers, you want to try the hot.
Yeah,
stuff.
exactly.
You want to get there. You get. and
That
you
was me.
have to build up
I
that
kept wanting
tolerance.
I was wanting the hotter, next hotter thing because it was
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
the other stuff tastes like ice cream now.
It's kind of funny to think about. You can't patent a pepper. You can patent a rose, but not a pepper. But
Yeah.
because
What?
peppers, yeah, you can patent a rose, plant patents, but you can't patent a pepper because they're sexually reproduce. But what's neat about that is it also means you really couldn't knock off a pepper. Like
So
it would
you
be
can't patent a pepper? I
you
didn't
can't
know
patent
that.
a pepper. Yeah.
You can't patent life most of the time unless you're Monsanto, but
Right. Well, you can if you can clone it effectively, like just naturally, like roses.
Now I
didn't know you
hear
could
he
do
was
that.
Yeah.
I did hear he was trying to patent this.
Interesting. Only way I could see it would be if he patented like the chemical structure or something, because I don't see how you could.
Maybe it's the spice.
how do you patent a
Yeah.
rose?
Basically, because the genetics are like uniform, it's super weird, man. Just look up like plant patents.
I will.
It's the weirdest stuff you'll ever read. Yeah.
Okay.
But roses, because you're cutting them, like they're not sexually reproducing. You're just making little clones.
So if you make a new hemp feed, you could actually patent that.
What, a hemp feed?
Yeah, you know
I'm already doing that.
Oh well, there you go.
Yeah, if you might do some selective breeding, I don't know. Like if you can
The only
make it-
reason I thought you could patent life was if you had a science process.
you're
that you
talking
could-
about
you could do
genetic
a
engineering, no.
process, yeah.
You can absolutely plant natural or occurring organisms under one big condition. One, it's a plant, and two, it reproduces asexually. Like those are the two rules. Yeah.
There you go.
And that's another thing.
I know.
I didn't know that either.
It's like the third weird, obscure kind of patent.
Now I know.
We
and
really-
knowing's half the battle, according to G.I. Joe.
All right, let's move on to the last one. NASA is visiting an asteroid valued at more than the entire world's economy's worth. But that's not why it's going there. So let's share that one just so everybody can see it. So we are NASA is launching this mission to the metal-rich asteroid called 16 Psyche. What if that's Psyche or Psyche?
Oh, Psyche.
Is it Psyche? Okay.
More Greek mythology. We're
Yeah,
having a Greek
more
mythology day.
I know, right? So the metals is thought to contain that it is thought to contain would be worth 100,000 quadrillion dollars on Earth. That sounds like a
It's like a toddler making up a price for stuff.
I suddenly was thinking of what's that movie with Dr. Evil and he's
Oh, yeah, yeah.
$100 million. Yeah.
Wait, Dr. Evil. $1 billion is not a lot of money now in today's economy. 100 billion dollars. Now billions not
So this isn't too big a far cry from this. So NASA isn't going to mine the asteroid. I guess it's just going to study it. So that's kind of interesting. But I mean, if it's got that much worth in it, yeah, I mean that much value, why has anybody tried that yet?
Yeah. I think
mining an
it's
asteroid.
I think it's a corner. Once we turn it, that's it. Like that's going to be kind of like electricity.
Because
Like,
Bruce
whoever does
Willis
that-
in the game doesn't know how to land on an asteroid.
We've already seen this in the movie, right?
Exactly.
Is that the answer that I need
Well,
to give
that's
here?
the other thing is this a good business idea opportunity or is it
Try to mine
or
an
is
asteroid?
is it a disaster movie? Because here's what I'm picturing.
Oh.
So they're like they grab the asteroid, they bring it into Earth's orbit, and then it gets out of control, and they're like, "Whoops!" Now you've got this huge metal rock coming in.
I don't know. I don't know. I'm a people person, but this one, I don't know if we're capable of doing this just yet without killing ourselves.
That's the limit. Is
I mean,
we can. But once we can, like the first
I
person to
don't
do
know,
it
man.
will be the first trillionaire.
The first
Overnight
trip
too.
there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Forget about that Elon Musk.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
just, that's
Which-
like,
Actually, it might end up being
it
him.
might be
We'll see.
Elon Musk. Yeah. Elon Musk, if you're listening out there,
I'm worried about,
we are,
maybe
we're
one day
challenging you right now.
Yeah.
maybe one day I'll be able to drive down a 2-lane road without worrying that some idiot's on his phone. It's going to hit me. So we got to get that mastered first before we go off and start bringing asteroids into mining.
Let's bring asteroids. Let's not just get hit by a random one.
Let's get people off. Let's get people off their phone while they're driving first. How about that?
Hey, that's
Huh?
a big
How
problem.
about that?
Yeah,
Huh?
yeah.
I mean, seriously, somebody invent something that turns your phone off the second you get in the car. How about that?
That was
Huh?
pretty serious
Huh?
today, yeah.
We've seen
How about
people
that?
working on that.
What are you talking about? They can already do it. They just don't want to. How about that? That'd be brilliant. You get in there. If you don't have hands free, I'm sorry. No conversations, no
Oh,
texting, no.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
Can we do that first? We got seatbelts in here.
yeah.
I mean, are we gonna look back in 20 years and people gonna be like, "I tell you that you used to like to look at the internet while I was driving."
Yeah. No, it probably would be, yeah.
And I tell you, the government's gonna take that away from me. We can't even get that done. So I don't think it's wise to be bringing asteroids.
Self-driving cars. I think that'll be the.
Well, that's
Then
a
you
modal
sit.
solution.
You could sit there all day on
Yeah.
on your phone.
They're there, aren't we there?
Yeah.
Why aren't we there? Aren't cars driving? I mean, did I see right that people just fall asleep at the wheel while their car drives them?
I mean, it's happening.
And there's taxi
Yeah.
cabs that driving
Oh,
you to
yeah.
the places without anybody, right?
Yeah.
It's happening all
Not
the
in
time.
Lexington, but I think
Yeah.
it's in Vegas. I think,
Yeah.
right?
Oh, yeah.
There's cops pulling over empty cars. That's a real thing.
out.
No, really. They don't know what to do either because there's no
Here,
not in Kentucky, no, but like West Coast, yeah.
Oh, wow.
yeah. So we're,
Pulling over.
Get out.
Yeah,
No, there's nobody in here.
exactly. It's like, what
They're
do you
going
do?
to arrest the AI.
Yeah.
Oh,
I didn't know you
gosh.
could be empty.
Yeah, yeah. And basically you can program it to go put someplace and then hop out. There's no,
And then
That
have your car go back and park in your garage.
I guess.
Or,
Gosh, that
or
would've been
it's an
handy in my-
Uber.
In my early years, that would have been awfully handy.
Oh, yeah.
By the way, if you get a DUI these days, you're an idiot.
Mhm.
Seriously, you have to be a complete idiot.
And it knows to pull over if the police is behind it.
Yeah, all right.
Wow.
Oh,
Well, there you go.
yeah, there you go. All right. Well, tell you what, let's move on. And we're gonna talk about your
All right.
the goat apron a
All
little
right.
more.
All right.
So tell us a little bit about how you came up with your idea.
Okay. So the way my idea came about was I had a very difficult pregnancy in 2007, and my immune system was shot after the pregnancy. So I had around 35 MRSA boils in the first 3.5 years, and they hurt. I had been a nurse at this point for 13 years, and I didn't know how to help myself. You know, you go to the doctor, you get antibiotics, just keep going back. They, you know, cut you and do all this stuff. It hurts.
Yeah.
And I was sick. And so I started my own journey of learning about nutrition that mainstream healthcare professionals do not know unless they have studied on their own. They just don't know about it. So one of the first books I read was The Maker's Diet by Dr. Jordan Rubin. And so he talked about goat milk and all of its amazing properties in there. And so I knew I needed goats, and we lived in the city. But we were wanting to get out and get a farm. And shortly afterwards, we bought a farm. I didn't have fencing up. You know, I had a friend keep the goats. I bought goats. And as soon as possible, I moved them to the farm. So after I started taking care of the goats, I had one small MRSA boil. That's it. I've never had another one.
Wow.
I wasn't drinking goat milk at the time, but I believe working in the barn changed the bacteria flora in my body and overrid the MRSA.
Wow.
So that's a big bit of knowledge if anyone is suffering with something like that.
Wow.
But I kept the goats because I knew how healthy the milk was, and it couldn't be bought at that time. It was against the law. And even now we can do herd shares, but it's really difficult to buy it still. So when
Goat milk?
in West Virginia. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Around here too. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
pretty niche.
It was a big fight to get the herd share bill passed. It took a few years.
Wow.
But even now people can't hardly buy it. They're driving long distances to get it. And I will say that goat milk in the store is nasty. I wouldn't give it to anyone. It is so bad. Goat milk is supposed to taste very good. The stuff in the store is terrible. It's just terrible.
I'll agree with you there.
Oh, awful.
I grew up on goat milk. You had you opened the carton, you drank it, either drink that whole carton that day, or it's cottage cheese the next day.
Really?
And
Wow.
it could be totally in date, but
Wow.
then I had a lady that started bringing me goat milk. So that experience that I had with goat milk as a child,
Mhm.
kind of what would you say, ceased and desisted. And I had a great experience with her goat milk.
Good.
Wow.
And I was just like, bring me as much as you want. You can have as much hay as you want.
Yeah. It's so good.
It is good.
It is.
And
It is so good. I
she-
drink some every night. Like I would rather have a cup of goat milk than to eat dinner. It's that good.
That's right.
Yeah,
That's cool.
it's really good stuff. So I had the goats, but I needed a buck. And so that's I was investigating how people kept bucks and all of the issues, that I've already went through. I guess everyone heard that. So all of the issues with keeping a buck. And so I found the buck that I wanted in another state, and he was actually number one on the American Dairy Goat Association sire summary, which means his genetics were the best in the United States for his breed. That was just a blessing from God. That this lady was going to sell him to me. And so I had to figure out a way to keep him. And my mom found a BBC article about African herdsmen and how they kept their goats from breeding. So they had just an apron with a strap. And so I was washing dishes one day and every day trying to solve this problem. And I couldn't find it anywhere. No one sold them. They weren't available anywhere in the world that I could find. I couldn't find any information on them other than this one BBC article of what they do in Africa. So I was washing dishes one day and I thought, well, I guess I'll do it. And I thought, if this is from God, it'll work. It has absolutely worked. And at that time, I didn't even know how to sew. So it's been 10 years. I know how to sew. We've sold around 1,500 aprons.
Wow.
And we're holding back, actually. We're not, which sounds crazy. We're not trying to sell aprons. We fill the orders, and I'm grateful for the orders, but we're a homeschool family. My boys are 16. They're athletes. We have a lot of ball games. And so this is a season that I'm in. But I'm just holding myself back. They're 16, so it'll be soon. That this will be the new season in my life where I can be aggressive with back aprons. So yeah.
Life
Did
happens,
I
doesn't
answer
it?
your question?
Yes.
Okay.
That was a great
Life
answer.
gets in the way.
But
Yeah.
but I'm enjoying this season so much. I mean,
Good.
just this
Right.
homeschool journey has
Mhm.
been awesome. I mean, it
Yeah.
is so fantastic. We have so many friends, homeschool family friends, and our lives are just so rich.
Much bigger community than most people.
Oh yeah, we played a team Friday. I think it was Tuesday, from Virginia, a homeschool team. They have 100 homeschool basketball teams in Virginia.
Wow.
Yeah, they have like all of this organization, and we lost. I mean, we should have won.
Yeah.
We should have
Yeah,
won.
of course.
Yeah.
So what was
Yeah.
the hardest part, you think, of the whole journey of getting from idea to the marketplace?
Oh my goodness. So it's been 10 years. And the hardest part, I don't think I could pinpoint, because there have been so many difficult times. I mean, there's a lot of heart in it.
Mhm. There always is. Doesn't matter what it is.
Yeah. Yeah. So let me see. I have notes. Let me pick something out.
I got a question for you.
Yeah.
All right. What I've been told that
Yeah.
the goat market,
Yeah.
meat
Yeah.
and milk is incredibly high and
Yeah.
almost the
It
seems to
is.
be,
Yeah.
you ever chomp at the bit during while this life is getting in the way part of your life,
Uh-huh.
be like, oh, am I missing out? Is this the time that I wish I could be doing that? Because I mean, from right now, what I've been told, where
Yeah.
Islam has become, we have more Islamic people in the United States than we've ever had before.
Mm-hmm.
And goat meat is
Oh,
ever
It's not
popular,
good though.
very
More people
popular,
need to eat it.
very popular. But I'm curious if you feel like this is
I have a lot of pulls on me at all times. You know, I don't know what RNs are making right now. I don't work as an RN. I homeschool,
okay.
and that doesn't pay.
Sure.
You know, we belong to a co-op.
You ever want to teach home ec at homeschool and get those kids sewing?
Oh, they sew.
Today,
Hey, I've got a
Today we're gonna
binder.
make buck aprons.
Binder, and
Yes.
it's labeled keeping time,
Ah.
doing time, and that's where they write down their time.
Ah.
No, they know how to sew.
Nice.
They work. Yeah. Yeah. But as far as you know, filling the pools in every direction. Oh yeah. So 2020 RNs are making $100 an hour or more.
Mm.
Yeah.
I didn't go to work
Mm.
because I know that later in life, you know, I already have everything I need. It's not about the money.
Right.
It's just not.
Yeah.
If I was suffering and I needed the money, I'd go to work, but it's not that way.
Right.
And so I'm in the season of life where I have to take care of my kids,
Yeah.
and then it'll be my turn to do other things. So, but I'm enjoying it. We have a great time. I mean,
And it'll be here
every
before you know
day.
it.
Like there's
The next
nothing
season.
boring.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I would like to stay in the season forever. I mean, but there's good things in every season, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of Alex Hormozy too, by the way. Yeah. Yeah.
That was my. Oh, do you all know who Alex Hormozy is and his
I-
wife Leela?
Heard
Yeah.
the name.
Pretty great.
I do that for fun. Okay, so I watch their
It gets me
videos.
fired up
I
about
study
business.
their
I'm like,
courses.
yeah.
I know. I take notes. Oh, these guys. So their motivation is they're very, very experienced in building businesses. There's a lot about them. And so their motivation is to get businesses up to around 3 to 5 million a year with free teaching, courses, cheat books. And then that's where they come in. They're like, hey, then you contact us and we'll take it to 30.
Yeah.
So all kinds of free information there to grow a business. Oh, how exciting.
What's
Yeah.
his name
I
again?
like this stuff. Alex Hormozy.
Oh yeah, Mosey Nation, he calls it. He has books, he has free courses online. So
I think
exciting.
his first
Yeah.
business was a gym. You
Gym
know,
launch.
there we
Yeah,
go.
yeah. I do
Yeah.
that for fun.
Oh,
In the
wow.
mornings, I'm drinking my coffee, watching their videos. Yeah, it's so much
Oh,
fun.
cool.
Yeah.
So what do you think helped you the most to get to that point where you started getting a lot?
Okay. Persistence, never stop.
And
So
that's what I'm kind of getting from when I said what was the hardest part? You said, well, there were so many,
so many.
but the fact that you were getting
There's always
through all of
problems.
them, I think
Yeah.
tells me that
You just
the
never
tenacity.
stop. Never
tenacity thing.
stop. Yeah.
because there's always something that's going to hit you out of left
Always.
field.
Always a problem.
Yeah.
Infringement right now.
And
There's- and that's big.
right.
But that's not the
That's
first
how you
big
know
thing.
you've made it though.
There's
but
big
yeah.
things
yeah.
all the time. And I'm like, okay, well, let's do this. You
I-
know? I mean,
You
you can't
I
be afraid.
when I walked
So-
into a trade show one time and saw
Uh-huh.
my products on somebody else's shelf with
Oh.
the literature that looked like it was my literature where they just moved the words and pictures around.
You were
And
sick.
I
Your
was
blood pressure up.
I was sick, I was angry, and I was flattered all at the same time. Because
How
I'm
did you
like,
function that day?
okay, how does a multinational, multi-billion-dollar company
Yeah.
is even paying attention to little old?
Well, what did you do? What did you do?
Well, and this was our strategy. This was
Uh-huh.
our strategy because we knew we couldn't fight
Yeah.
these companies. They
Yeah.
had, you know, they
Yeah.
had buildings full of lawyers where we didn't even,
Yeah.
we had one we, had on retainer. So, we knew we couldn't win that fight. So we thought, how are we going to win it? Well, we won it by actually having a better product and always staying one step ahead of them. And we were talking about Shark Tank earlier,
Yeah.
and again, I've met some people at Shark Tank, and I've heard some of them speak before in like groups, and I heard one say one time because the question in the audience was, what are you going to do about people that are ripping you off? What are you going to do about people that are trying to copy you? And he said he had some kind of bag that he had on Shark Tank. I can't remember what it was. And he said, right now, China is already shipping an exact copy of my current product. He says, but we are working on the next version of this already. And that got me to thinking, because that's exactly what we did. We had this big multinational company, and ours was a real very boring, sciencey type of product. It was this thing called a formaldehyde neutralizing dry mat. And this company tried to copy us, and in the big corporation wisdom, they decided to put a plastic back on it, and it made it completely ineffective for what it was supposed to do. And then, so they had all these complaints about it when they first came out because they were pushing it.
Yeah.
And they said, okay, well, we'll solve this. We'll poke holes in the plastic. Well, that didn't work either. And we were kind of laughing all the way to the bank with it, because it's like everybody wanted ours, because we always knew we were close to the customer. We knew what they wanted.
Yeah.
We were always improving. We're like, okay, well, what's new, Don? Oh, well, we came out with this new product, and now it does this. And so the other people who aren't creative, these copycats, they're not very good at what they do, because all they can do is they can't come up with anything original. That's why they copied me.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, we'll just stay one step ahead of you.
Don, do you feel like you're one of the few that came out unscathed though?
Oh, nobody's came out unscathed. I mean,
Unscathed. I'm not talking about, like, dude, most people.
I think
your luck, or
I think sometimes it boils down to attitude and strategy. I think sometimes it is like, oh, woe is me. Look what they're doing. I might as well just pack it up and go. And I think that's and it goes back to exactly what Ann said. It's like when it stops you, when you say, okay, oh, well, I guess this is game over. I can't compete with this company. This company's really big. And you don't think, well, I'm a lot more nimble than these. I have things that these people can't in their wildest dreams do, because I'm nimble, because I'm inventive, because I'm creative, and apply all those things to something else, to the next version of whatever.
I'm not sure every inventor has the same experience that you had.
Well, we try to teach people that. That's why
It's like before we started recording, we were looking at the folks who've knocked you off, at least one of them. And they all
terrible.
They all have like 1-star reviews on Amazon.
Oh, they're terrible. They're horrible.
The marketing material that they've got to show you, it's literally doughs, which the products for buck got Photoshop aprons on doughs. Like they don't even know what they're making it for.
They don't.
It's like with competition like that. And that was my realization. I thought, okay, these guys don't know what they're doing. They're putting plastic on something that's supposed to react with something that you put on it. And it's like not working at all. And the only reason they sold any at all was because they had army of salespeople. And I could have gotten all worried about that and let that stop me. But I think it goes back to exactly what Ann said. I think it's the tenacity of, I'm going to do this in spite. I don't care how big this company is. I'm going to do this in spite. And I think that's part of what I'm working with an inventor right now. And he's going through a really tough time. But every time, and I've watched him over the last 3 years, every time he hit a tough time, he plowed through it. He did exactly what you did, Ann. And I think that is what got him to the success where he is now. And that's what's going to keep him going.
Persistence.
It's persistence. It is the one factor, one thread I see that's the difference between successful inventors and ones that aren't successful is persistence.
I said it first.
You did, Kevin. We're going to give you credit for that.
No, I'm just joking.
Finances is another big one. that can drown
Oh,
an
Yeah.
inventor.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I had a business selling Siberian cats before the buck aprons.
You're just full
And-
of unconventional
Yeah.
questions.
Well,
Siberian cat.
my son had allergies, and we found that he could have a Siberian cat. And there was a Siberian cat breeder in Tennessee going out of business. She was retiring, and my mom bought me these cats. And so I had my RN, information in my head, to keep them healthy is what I'm trying to get at. I was able to read and keep away from the vet office oftentimes. That is very expensive. So I would use the Siberian money and put into the buck aprons. And so I did that to the point to where I couldn't do both businesses. So I had to let the cats go. And that was hard anyways, because I was so attached to them.
Yeah.
And a part of my heart left when I let them go. They were like my friends. I still get requests for Siberian cats. I've not sold any in maybe 4 years now, and I still get text messages and emails of people wanting them.
But you learned along the path. I bet you took something from that previous business and you applied it.
Oh,
for this one,
absolutely.
whatever. I mean, for
Keep
instance,
growing.
when
Yeah.
when it comes to hemp cattle company,
Yeah.
I learned, okay, so I'm having success with my company called Wildcat Hay. I mean, I'm using every bit of the money that I used in the finance of that, selling hay to horse farmers here in Central Kentucky area, where there's still a thriving, huge business when it comes to horses. Well, they're willing to pay big money. Now, what I learned in that is I kind of, what would you say, meshed it or synergized hemp cattle company into my hay business. I mean, that's where it all came from, as a bit of a grassologist, if you will. And I take that money. Now, what I'm getting ready to do, and I marketed it last year, since I believe that my hemp that I grow is the next alfalfa. You'd have to be an idiot not to tie it into the horse business as. So I draw analogies like, alfalfa is the spinach, and this hemp that I grow is the kale. It takes the horses a little bit of time, but once they adapt to it, they add weight. When you're talking about 26% on a plant-based protein, I started marketing it towards that, and I'm literally going to sell this year probably close to $150,000 worth of hemp hay to the horse industry.
Nice.
Oh,
So
wow.
And then what I'll do is I'll take that money to put back in the hemp cattle company so that I can see the things. And if hemp cattle company takes off, then I'll be back to pushing the inventions that I'm using hemp cattle company to phase into.
Yep.
It's like
So you're
this.
using one thing to
Another one I'll take. And
keep you out of debt and keep
well,
things
it
growing.
does, but that doesn't
Yeah.
necessarily mean that I don't need to do what we've talked about doing, and find free money out there for investigation. But what it has done is kept me from, worrying about, because I'm all about, I want everything done yesterday. I'm impatient. So, but at least on this journey that I'm on, I feel like progress is to be made. So I'm not restless, because I took what life got in the way. What we were talking about, life got in the way, and you need to do it, and know you're glad to do it. I'm taking life and I'm trying to turn it into the next
Traction for the
lemonade that I'm making with that. Whether it works or not, I've told my wife I'm going to see this through one way or another. And if it happens via my own money, fine. If it happens faster because of a grant that I get, can see through, then even better.
Leverage.
But
Absolutely.
I'm going to see this through hell or high water.
And that's what it takes. I really think that's the ones I see that make it, and the ones I see that don't. I see ones that are underfunded, that are having harder knocks, make it, while I watch other ones that have more money and and have it easier not make it. And it all boiled down to that one thing.
Well, I just adapted, what I was doing with the hemp cattle company to the hay business that was already taking off. I mean, like I come back to it makes me just want to shake people. Like, you need food. Food.
Yeah.
Food.
Yeah.
So she's in the business of. That's what I'm
Is
in
that
the
the
business
bumper
of.
sticker?
Yeah,
Is-
we're talking
is-
about peppers over here.
Yeah.
Food.
If you
So-
ate today, thank a farmer, right?
We talked about it. What was the event? The Carillion. What did you say? Well, I'm going Star Wars here.
Carrington event.
Carrington
Oh,
event.
Carrington event.
All
There
right.
you go.
Guess what? It won't. You know, it will
You
matter.
have a Carrington event.
If we have a-
proof.
If we have a
Yeah.
Carrington event, no, I don't. Carrington event would be like, you know, we won't realize what's important until it hits us in the face.
Mhm.
Until we
You know,
don't watch
yeah.
TV anymore.
Exactly.
Right.
We're like, oh, you know, we should have been doing
All our
this.
phones
We
become bricks.
Yeah.
should have, oh, maybe we should have been realized, you know, what it's like to find water, you know, when there's a water shortage. You don't miss it until you don't have it.
Yep.
With your business, you know, what comes to my mind is grain. Grain is really not healthy.
It's an unnatural act for an animal to eat a grain.
Yeah, and so what you're doing sounds to me like there would be some kind of a study that would show the
Also the
health
soil.
benefits
Telling you,
to it.
that's our way in. It's the soil
limestone.
relationship
Yeah,
between the soil,
yeah.
the shoot, what was that fungus? The symbiote.
Yeah.
The symbiote, the soil, and the hemp itself.
Yeah.
Goat milk is not as healthy if the goat is fed grain,
Mm.
but I have to feed grain because they can't keep weight without grain.
Correct.
So that makes me wonder if what
Ooh.
you have
Hemp
would
goats.
keep.
That's correct. So
keep
that's
weight
what my whole
on-
business is based on. It's
Yeah.
a plant-based diet. That's the last super source of protein that's
Yeah.
not been genetically modified.
So
So what started happening,
Mm-hmm.
and I need to I'll try to make this short. When I started feeding this high protein plant-based diet to my
Mm-hmm.
animals, I started getting marbling taste and tenderness from a
wow.
plant-based diet
Yeah.
that it can bridge the gap between what would normally be grass-fed beef and
Yeah.
corn-fed beef.
So with the milk,
Feeding
there should
grain,
be.
feeding grain
Yeah.
is an unnatural act for a ruminant to
Yeah.
eat.
Yeah.
So what started happening so as long as your protein levels are high enough when it goes into the rumen,
Mhm.
they are able to digest it more efficiently. So what started happening is I started getting marbling in cuts of beef like the round and the chuck and the other cuts that are, what would you say, not normally
Right.
marbled
Usually you got bigger.
because
chunks of
because
fat
of the
instead being
efficiency levels of
spread.
that protein.
Mm.
Wow.
And it all needs to be studied.
Yep.
By somebody besides me. And if you think that
There's
I don't
should be
own
something to show up in the milk.
Goats?
The
Goats,
cows
chicken?
are bigger though.
than
cow
I,
milk.
I only own trademarks on and
Yeah.
patents in certain fields. So I own trademarks on hemp cattle company, beef. It's all I'm focused
Good
on.
point, though.
But somebody
Animal
else
after
could
milk.
Yeah.
somebody else could trademark hemp fed chicken. I have nothing to do with it. I don't know chickens. I don't know goats. I don't know pig. Swine and all these other fields we can
Put it
have.
in the words of Ed Kroc, franchise.
Yeah.
Franchise.
Yeah.
It's actually related to fava beans, not marijuana.
It's not
Yeah.
marijuana.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's why it's legal. But I stopped talking about cannabis and hemp. I've changed what would you call this
I-
journey. Marketing is more towards
So it's a
the new
baby.
alfalfa.
Mhm.
Goodness.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
I
I'm
always think of Hannibal Lecter, fava beans and a nice Chianti.
So this is a
Your
different
cousins.
bean.
Yeah.
No, it's in the same
Yeah.
family.
Same family.
Fabaceae, yeah.
correct.
Ooh.
It's just a legume.
Yeah.
It's a legume like
Yeah.
clover,
Wow.
alfalfa, sun
Yeah.
hemp,
Yeah.
Lespedeza. You can keep naming clovers. The only
Yeah.
unique thing about it is different than most legumes is the fact that it is a annual.
Mm.
Okay, so all the other ones that I listed, clover,
Yeah.
Lespedeza,
Perennials.
perennials. So I have to
Mm.
the effort that I put into it actually
Oh,
I
yeah.
have to oversee. Now it is an annual, so it is on what would you call the least expensive side. So, but you have to put the labor in to get it.
Hmm.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah,
Mhm.
absolutely. Well, I definitely want to celebrate both your all's wins on this.
Thank you.
Thank you all, y'all. Congratulations on where you got, and I'm looking for great things from both of y'all in 2024
Thanks.
and your season one. So,
Thank you.
So, all right, well, let's move on to any questions that we have. Leo, any questions in the chat?
Yeah,
I know
funny enough, we've not really had a lot other than like little back and forths about Wordle and various other things.
Oh,
But while I was thinking of it, because you talking about the Siberian cats made me think of it. I can't believe I didn't email you this, Dawn, to go into the notes. Talk about an innovation. There's a new experimental medicine from Japan that will, if it works, and it appears to work, double the lifespan of cats. Their lifespan will go
Wow.
from 15 years to 30 years, and they've even attempted.
So they get 18 live?
But yeah, here we go. Oh, man. Yeah, no, that was a good one. But yeah, it's astonishing. Apparently, one of the leading causes of death for cats of all sorts is renal. That's like the main issue. So what this does, they've even taken cats that are on death's doorstep from renal failure, given it to them, totally bounce back, just keep going. So
is this something that you just give your cat every day?
actually, I think it's once a year. It's basically an injection like once a year that keeps them from having kidney failure.
I wonder what the medicine is.
That's a good question. It was made by a Japanese lab.
Wow.
Basic
Blue
stuff.
or whatever that was.
No,
Oh,
no,
wow.
we're good.
Yeah, no.
It's Chinese.
Different, different country.
Come on, Kevin. Don't be racist.
Oh, goodness.
Chinese people aren't. Same thing as Japanese people.
Here we go. Yep.
You just insulted the entire nation
Yeah.
of Japan.
My wife was telling me about it. I don't even know. Is it okay to say Asian? I know you're not supposed to say Oriental. I'm
Right.
well aware of that.
The rule of thumb is
a
Asian.
no-go.
Asian is people. Oriental is objects. Like a rug can be Oriental.
Oh, see. So I'm saying, I knew that was no good.
Hmm.
But
Dr. Miyazaki. That's the fellow who came.
And Leo does know a lot about Japan. He's been
Yeah, I'm a weeb.
have you?
Yeah,
Well traveled.
big
very
fan.
well traveled.
Want to go to Osaka next. Here we go. Full story. Unfortunately, they're not giving a name of it, but yeah, it's an
I'm
injectable
not sure I want to
medication.
go to Japan just on principle, because if I go there and see how they're so efficient and so
Oh yeah.
they're so
You're
now
just
why-
going to be disgusted when you get
why
home
it
with.
hurt my feelings, I mean, put a lot of apparently I put a lot of what would you say stock in being, I'm not necessarily.
You could get them to feed that Wagyu beef.
They're so
anyhow.
efficient. They're so
there you
efficient
go.
over there. They are. They're so efficient with space and I don't know.
Oh, it's the future over there. It's bananas.
Is it?
Like, I went through a subway turnstile the wrong way, and a robotic voice started yelling at me.
Oh, really?
I didn't know what it was saying.
But I'm
It was going the wrong way.
Yelling at you.
I'm fascinated with a little bit of what they do with trying to put meat in vending machines, because you go over there,
Yeah.
it's all
Oh, you
that's
can get
it.
hot soup in a vending machine.
That's
It's
you
nuts.
eat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So maybe that's where you need to get the vending machine
There we go,
technology
yeah.
from.
Oh, I think it's
Japan.
already there. I don't
Yeah,
have to
yeah,
go
yeah.
there to go, but I would be jealous.
Just borrow from.
And then I wonder if if what they do there with vending and cameras and whatnot, say like grocery stores,
Sure.
would that ever fly here in the United States? And the
I
answer
wish
is
it would,
probably
but
not.
yeah. We're not ready.
But I'm gonna try it. I'm gonna try it with the vending, but I don't know
I
about
can't wait to
Yeah,
get
see that.
I can't wait to get a steak out of a vending machine.
that. Should be a real hoot.
from you.
It's
I
gonna
really
happen.
do.
I'm
I'm looking forward to that.
It's another thing I'm kind of eagerly anticipating with the hay season going so well and so fast, that though I'm scared of not being able, I've built a monster when it comes to wildcat hay and selling the hay, but I'm worried when I run out of hay, will I be able to what would be my new focus? And my new focus will be basically pushing in, getting that in store and that done.
I'm
tired of talking about it,
I can see that. I can't wait.
but right now it's still like crazy out there. It's only not even Christmas and it's nuts.
Interesting.
Very cool.
Yes, it is.
All right. Well, parting thoughts. And why don't we start with you? Any
Okay.
first off, if somebody wants to go to Apron,
Yeah, buckapron.com.
buckapron.com.
There you go.
Yes.
And any parting thoughts?
Okay, yes, I have a big parting thought.
All right,
Okay.
let's hear it.
So if I would have found this inventors committee from the very beginning, I would have saved thousands of dollars. So come here for advice.
We appreciate
Yes.
that.
Yeah.
That is great.
We love to catch people before they
Oh,
Make mistakes.
wow.
make mistakes.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah.
That's
I
right.
always say you put three things into an idea. You put time, you put money, you put wisdom. If you get the wisdom first, you won't pour the
Mhm.
time and money down.
That's right.
So, Kevin, how say you?
Parting thoughts. Well,
Well, first off, if somebody wants to
sure.
learn more about hemp cattle, where do they
Right.
go?
Go to hempcattlecompany.com. That's all spelled out. You can read about what we're doing when it comes to plant-based proteins and inventions and where we're going. But yeah, parting thoughts is that the journey's not over. I like coming here. I like coming to these things and discussing because it makes me feel like I'm not alone.
So much. It
That
is. Yeah.
you know, I thank Dawn a lot for including me and all this stuff.
Yeah.
It's not easy. Especially when you have those weak moments like I was talking about. You just don't know what to see, but you get strength from people
Mhm.
and their journeys, and you take and you live and learn. And we're just a bunch of sponges out here. That's all we're doing.
All of us.
And we're the sum total of all our life experiences with a little bit of genetics added in. That's really what we are. So I'm glad that, you know, this community exists. But on my journey, you know, I'm all about right now. I'm in a phase of what would you say? I'm ready to bring more people in. I'm not scared to share. I've reached a precipice of where it doesn't matter if I lose it. I'm more focused on getting it out there. I've kind of hit, I don't know, what would you say? I don't care button, you know.
Yeah.
Yep.
Good place to be.
It's a strange. I spent the first, you know, few years worried about, you know, losing it or whatnot, but now I'm just like, if I keel over and have a heart attack on the farm or get run over by a tractor, the real crying shame is that I didn't get it on video or share with somebody. And you know, there's not going to be somebody going like, "Hey, you remember that guy that wore tie-dyed bandana and these weird glasses on?" And so that's the real travesty. I think about people like, you know, Gatewood Galbraith, who got ignored for years, and now seems. I mean, people still probably think he's a kook, but he was ahead of his day.
Yeah.
He was. And 25 years later, we're looking at Gatewood a little differently, aren't we?
Yeah.
So I'm well aware that the first person through the wall gets bloody, and I'm ready
It's a good way of framing
for
it.
that challenge.
That was a good.
Yeah,
Right.
absolutely. Absolutely.
Want to drag as many people as I can with me.
Yeah.
Leo, any parting thoughts from you?
I think the big take home here that it seems universal is stick with itness. That's what it takes. And that's if you don't naturally have that, and most people don't, it's something you definitely have to work on if you're an inventor, because it is a make or break attribute. And also Merry Christmas.
Yeah.
Hanukkah,
Yeah.
Christmas.
That's right. Hanukkah started yesterday.
Oh,
didn't
yeah.
it?
Is that right?
Was it yesterday or the day before?
I don't know,
Yeah.
man. I've been off my game since the 12 days of Christmas. When she told me that, I don't know what to think. I was like,
Oh gosh.
and he kept saying January 6th. I'm like, Kevin, don't get into politics. Kevin, don't get into politics. Like, but I'm sitting there going like, 12 days of Christmas. Did that coincide with January 6th? Is this some sort of conspiracy theory?
Presumably that's when the three wise men turned up, was January.
I have no idea. You know, I'm going to leave that one alone again. Just gonna leave that. But I'm just sitting there going like, I don't understand. How did I never? You know, you hear that song. I've driven through the horse park. I never knew when the 12 days of Christmas were.
Yeah.
What's going on? I mean,
We learned.
did you know?
We learned
Did you
all.
know?
I did not know.
You didn't know? I didn't know.
I learned that.
That's
And
why
now I know it's not. It
Yeah.
starts at Christmas, and
Yeah.
the only person that knew
Yeah.
was Leo.
that's why I started members. Yeah.
This is why we have Leo here.
I
He
thought I
knows
was a
stuff.
ball of worthless knowledge. I've been trumped.
Oh, All right. Well, George, how about you? Anything?
Nothing.
Nothing? All right. Well,
Good time.
glad to have you here.
This was
Glad
an
to have.
exciting, event.
It
This
was.
Join us
It
in
was.
episode.
We had a lot of fun tonight, and I just want to thank everybody for being here and joining us tonight, and just being a part of this, especially in this holiday season. Thank you all. I want everybody to have a Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. And here, I've got my
Yeah.
bell. Let me ring my bell one
George-
last time.
George gets his wings.
George gets his wings. We're all good. So, all right, everybody have a great night, and we will see you in we'll see you next week, and then we'll also see you in January. Have a great New Year.
Happy holidays. Bye.
Happy
Bye.
holidays.